Tony, you're a member of the Protea Banks Forum. You attended the meeting between the interested parties concerning the proposed marine protection area. Now, as you know, in the beginning there was a lot of concern, but a lot of these concerns have now apparently been taken care of. Just bring us up to date on where we are now.
Johan, I think yesterday's meeting was a very good meeting because there were, although there were a small number of people, representatives of the South Coast, they were covering most of the various bodies. And I think the good thing about it was there was a consensus. There was a consensus on a way forward. And I think that the government has tried to cover most of the concerns of everybody. In short, it was a very good meeting from that aspect. They took a lot of notes. Various concerns were addressed. There was no arguments or anything like that at all. And I think it bodes well for the future.
It looks like the worry about tourism being affected has also been put to bed. You know, how it would affect fishing and the related matters. And apparently that's all been sorted out.
Seemingly, yes. And I think it's going to be very good for tourism because it will be one of the biggest MPAs in South Africa, on the South African coast. I think if marketed properly internationally, it'll be phenomenal. We are hoping that shark fishing as a sport won't be part and parcel, and that maybe tag and release will come in where sharks are accidentally caught. But the bottom line is that if we really market this well, it's going to be very good for the South Coast, and it's going to bring a lot of people here, purely for the fact that we've gone, at great lengths to make this work.
Tony, as you said, what is the basic motivation for the marine protection area, or one of the related motivations?
Well, worldwide, the minimum sort of scale seems to be 5% of the coastline. At the moment, South Africa is 0.4%, 0.4%, which is extremely low. It's not just this MPA that's being tackled at the moment, but I think it's something like 21 MPAs around the country are going to be established as part and parcel of the law that will be passed. And we don't protect our ocean at all, and our ocean has been badly hammered by trawlers, illegal trawlers, all this type of thing, our fish resources. And if we don't start protecting it now, our future generations aren't going to have anything. I mean, we're great on land with all of our game reserves and everything else, but we do nothing for our ocean heritage, and it's a very, very prime heritage. I think there's three different aspects when you look at the Mozambique current, the Benguela current, and the sort of mix in the middle between the two. We've got very phenomenal processes happening off our shore that we know nothing about, and we do nothing to really take care of them.
And what about drilling for oil?
Well, there's going to be areas where possibly they will do, but if there's a marine reserve, there'll be no mining activities taken in those marine reserves at all. Look, the government is looking at, the maritime economy, if I can put it to you that way. From a mining point of view, it's going to happen. Deepwater mining will take place. So get it right now and protect it for the future and for the future generations. And I think it's probably what came out yesterday was biggest plus for me, and that is that the governments can look seriously at maritime education and possibly at schools as well too. And we did ask that they, look at maybe twinning us with a city like Miami, where maritime protection, marine protection is a major subject at their university, at the Florida University. So there's a lot of great things that can come out of this that's really going to put the South Coast on the map as an area that wants to do better with the maritime heritage.
Just to end off, where do we go from here?
Well, it all goes back into the machine and gets scrambled around, and I think pretty soon we'll be getting feedback from them. One of the things that did come up, I believe is extremely important, and that is how they're going to control and patrol it. And the suggestion came up again for a small craft harbour to be built by the government. that proper patrol boats can operate from the south coast, not have to come from Durban or from Simonstown or East London, to patrol this area. Bearing in mind that you're looking at about 3,200 odd square kilometres of MPA on the south coast. It's a big chunk of ocean to patrol and protect. They're also looking at satellite tagging and satellite monitoring of the area, etc., of all the MPAs. So I think a lot of good things are going to come out of this, and I think it's going to be fantastic for the coast. One of the good things is that the coastal fishermen, they've moved now the sort of first step out to the 30-metre depth contour, which means you've probably got a good kilometre out to sea, and I don't think anybody's going to cast that far for rock and surf fishing. So there's no stoppage on that at all.
Tony, you mentioned the patrolling, but won't that take a long time? Because we don't have the necessary aircraft, we don't have the boats, the marine, the patrol boats.
Well, I think the whole process of setting up is going to take a good year or two. And I mean, if mines are, put to what's got to be done, it'll take maybe 5 or 6 years before we get the process properly in place and maybe a small craft harbour. But you're talking 500 million roughly for the outer infrastructure, which is not a lot of money in the bigger picture, not when you think of what this can do for tourism in the south coast, used properly and advertised properly. But there will be ways and means of doing it, and especially from the inner part, when you're looking at Protea banks, etc. Well, the ski boats go out there, so you can use, the present systems that are in place, and put in a patrol operation using ski boats to go out to monitor and also there's the monitoring of, when boats come ashore with the fish, and there's a whole process that goes into it. When we talk about, opening up to sort of for game fishing and this type of thing, people want big 50-footers to go out on. They don't want to belt out through the waves on a ski boat and go 10, 15, 20 nautical miles out at sea. And then obviously from a patrol point of view of the illegal trawlers which come into our area, we hear them at night. We hear the diesel engines at night. And they do come in. Everybody knows that. So there's a lot to be done, but baby steps first. Get everything going and then start expanding from that and really turning it into something that can be marketed worldwide as a great MPA.